Good morning, and on Julie's Bakes, we are making pancakes this morning. These are buttermilk pancakes, so I've got a couple of cups of flour in here, a few tablespoons of sugar, and a little bit of salt. I've got 2 tablespoons of baking powder, tablespoon or teaspoon and a half of baking soda. So I'm going to mix all of this up really well, and then in this bowl I've got a couple of eggs. I've got 2.5 cups of buttermilk. I've got some vanilla. I've got 3 tablespoons of melted butter, and I'm gonna get all this blended up, get the two together, and I might even slice up some apples this morning and make these into apple pancakes. Okay guys, I'm one-handed filming here, and happy 4th of July, by the way. So I've got my liquids put into my solids. Now with pancakes, you don't want to overmix them. It's okay for them to be a little bit lumpy. So go ahead and get everything wet, but this recipe is looking a little bit thick for me. I might add a little bit more buttermilk. I think these are going to make some very thick pancakes if I don't. So I'm going to get a little buttermilk in there. That batter's a little too dry for my taste. So like typical pancake cooking, you want to get your griddle or your pan about medium high heat, and you want them to bubble up a little bit. You want the edges to get dry. You can always just use your spatula to pick up the edge as it dries to see how browned it is. You want to get a little bit of brown color on them. These aren't cooking as quickly, so I'm going to turn the heat up just ever so slightly. But you want to get them brown a little bit because that's what's going to bring you flavor. So you don't want pale pancakes, or they just don't taste as good. Now here's the result of cooking at a lower temperature for a little bit longer time. And here's the result of cooking your pancakes a little bit too hot, is you're going to get brown and uneven in their cooking. So that's why you want to keep your temperature really around medium high. And if you're starting to see them brown and get hard in places like this, you know it's a little bit too high. Patience is part of pancake making. So here's a great example of a pancake that was put in too hot of a pan and one that was made in a pan that was at the proper temperature, as you're getting that nice golden color versus these guys that are uneven like that because the temperature was too hot. Okay, so my pans have been going for a while, and I'm about to put in the apple pancake batter. So I'm just going to give them a little bit of a squirt of oil. You could also use butter, and just take a scoop of this appley batter. Make sure you get a good amount of apples in each pancake. And again, this is a very thick batter. I like my batter a little bit thinner, but you can. It works nice for these chunky apples, though, I will say that. But you can hear by the sizzle there, my pan may be a little too hot. So because they've been on for a minute, they're nice and heated through. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this down just a little bit. Just a little. We'll see how those turn. Had the same thing happen in my second pan. They've been going for a couple of batches, so they're really well heated through, and as soon as you put that batter in, it starts to sizzle. And what I'm afraid of is I don't want to have those super dark bottoms like the other ones. I want them to slowly get nice and golden brown. So again, just a little adjustment in my burner. They sizzled a little too readily when I put them down. So let's see what the bottoms look like. This is the first pancake I put down. See how that looks like it's about ready for flipping. Well, now the problem is you want to make sure that the pancake gets cooked all the way through. So if the outside is cooking too quickly, that inside may stay uncooked. And so that's what we're trying to avoid. And that's why we lower the temperature and have patience when we're making our pancakes. I have to laugh because this is pretty standard. Just as soon as I get down to the very end of the batter, my pans get exactly the right temperature and they start churning out the perfect color pancakes. So as you can tell, these guys got brown nice and slow, and that's a nice good color. I don't mind that at all. And they're done in the middle because these guys are chock full of apples. What I did was I cored up 1 apple and I took approximately half the batter, and put chunks of 1 apple in it. Now you can put quite a bit of oil in your pan, and you can get these to where the edges get nice and crispy, but I'm opting for the low and slow method over the fast and furious one. Now if you're gonna do that, I might recommend a little bit thinner batter than what I've got here. It's really close to a cake batter. I would want just a slightly thinner batter. Put a lot of oil in your pan, and you'll get those edges to crisp up on you. And a thinner batter is also going to expose some of the apples a little bit better, and your apples can also get crisped up as well. Another variation, if you'd like to, you can throw some cinnamon in this batter. It makes a real nice addition or complement to the apples, but we kind of do ours plain and throw some maple syrup and butter on them when they're done. Okay, so let's go ahead, and this is our last batch going in here. That's about the amount of sizzle you want to hear. Not too fast, not too furious. Okay, let's try these guys over here. Just about like that. And then you know you're going to get that long and slow browning. And that's it. And then we're about to eat those pancakes. Happy 4th of July, guys. Now, it's taken these a while to cook. One of the good things about it, though, is the apples will get nice and soft in the middle because they've been on the heat for so long. As you can see, that one's really hesitant to brown up. So, just wanted to make a comment about the longer cooking time is going to yield a softer apple in the middle. So, and of course the style of apple you choose will make a difference too. If you want to get your eggs to cook a little faster, you can put a lid over them to help recirculate some of that heat and cook over the tops. I'm going to flip these in a few minutes, but I just don't want the outer edge to get too cooked without the yolk being cooked enough. So a little secret here is you can just cover them for a minute to kind of steam them from above. So these pancakes came out perfect. The apples are nice and tender. They're cooked through. The pancake is cooked through as well, but it's nice and springy. The edges are nice and crispy, but it's a very tender pancake. That's because we didn't overmix it. So pair that with a little bit of sausage. These are just absolutely delicious. So 5 stars. I'll go ahead and leave the link to the recipe in the description. And once again, happy 4th of July.